All right. Today in social studies, we're going to keep looking at maps. Last week, when I wasn't there, you should have already done this page using a political map. And you read about it. And then down here where it had this question, what is the purpose of a political map? You were practicing using your text to help answer this question. So we want to find the purpose of a political map. When I look up here, it says, this is a political map. Great. Political maps show borders or boundaries between places. Aha. It didn't use the word purpose, but that showed me what the purpose was in one nice little sentence. The rest of this just kind of helps to explain a little more about this political map. So the fact that it's showing the North America, which has Canada, the United States, and Mexico, along with the Caribbean, and it's a group of islands. And then it also talked about this one, a commonwealth, which is a territory with its own government but has strong ties to another nation, and Puerto Rico and the Bahamas are both commonwealths of the United States. Well, actually, Puerto Rico's of the U.S. Some of the other Bahamas are different. All right. So we are going to look at the next one that you also should have already done because you read this one. And this was a physical map. And the question said, what's the purpose of a physical map? And I hope that when you practiced it, you easily found that where it says this is a physical map show landforms or shapes on Earth's surface. Okay? And then it tells us what landforms are. Things like rivers, lakes, deserts, mountains, things like that are all going to be our landforms. So hopefully you wrote down that physical maps show landforms or shapes on Earth's surface. Now, this should already be in there. If it's not, go ahead and put that in as the two answers because you'll want to look back to those things. You can even, if you want to, underline where you found those answers. Okay? So, when we continue on, this one is going to be now called an elevation map. I'm going to read with you, but then I'm going to have you do some of this stuff on your own. So let's look at this. It says, use an elevation map. Reading out loud with me isn't a bad idea either. Have you ever wondered why the water in a river moves? The answer is because water runs downhill. Every river begins at a higher elevation than where it ends. Elevation is how high the land is above the sea. Elevation maps help us learn about the height of land. These maps use different colors to show land heights. The map key, also called a map legend, shows the colors that stand for different elevations. Now, as we read that, you should have come across the answer to this question. What is the purpose of an elevation map? But I want you to find it up here and then write it down here. Now, if you want to pause and do that, you can go ahead and do that now. Now, the second thing that we're going to have you do is you're going to use the map key or legend. Now, this right here is the key or the legend, okay? And it uses colors to basically tell you how high or low something is. So, as you look at it, if it's really, really dark green to 0, that means it is below sea level to 0 feet. So there aren't very many places like that because that would be underwater. All right. So really the first color that they have of green is going to be this one, which means it's 0 to 500 feet. That's that green right there. The next lighter green is 500 to 1,000 feet. The yellow would be between 1,000 and 2,000. Notice they kind of made a bigger jump there, didn't they? The yellow, or the green, or the orange, sorry, I don't know my colors, would be between 2,000 and 5,000. Look, they made another different jump, didn't they? Okay. And then the reddish, or the darker orange, would be between 5,000 and 10,000. And then anything this color would be above 10,000 feet. So you know you're way up in the mountains when you get into that particular color. Now, when we look at this, if we find where we live in Illinois, we live about right there, don't we? If I use this, that means that our elevation is between 500 and 1,000 feet above the level of the sea. Okay, the ocean is the level that we're using. So that means that things are going to run downhill to get to there because we are higher than there. All right. So now it says, what's the range of elevation along the Gulf of Mexico? Well, here's the Gulf of Mexico, and here's the color. So on your own, I want you to figure out, well, if the range of elevation for us is 500 to 1,000, write in a sentence what the range of elevation for the Gulf of Mexico that's that color green is. All right, so this is an assignment. All right, I want you to do that. I'm going to check it. All right, then turn the page. On the next one, this one says use a political map. And guess what? It's going to have some things you're going to do as well. I'll read it, you follow along. Another type of map is a population map. I'm sorry, I had read that wrong. Population map. Another type of map is population map. It shows how many people live in an area. Below is a population map of Ohio. As you can see, many people live in the area around Columbus, but some areas have a small population. Notice that the population is lower in northeast Ohio. So now let's look down here. And if we look at the population map, all these little parts are different colors. Now, every one of those things is called a county, okay? And there's different counties in Ohio, just like there's different counties in Illinois. And so the color tells you how many people live in that county. So the closer you are to a city, the more people you're going to have. So here's Cleveland, which is a decent sized city. And notice it's red and oranges and yellows, kind of all near the city. That means that those are bigger numbered of populations, okay? All right. This I want you to do as an assignment as well. Number one, what's the purpose of this map? It'll tell you right up here, okay? Somewhere in there, it's going to tell you exactly the purpose of this map. Then number two says, what type of map scale is used on this map? Well, I'm going to kind of help you out here. When it says what type of map scale, when you look here, it's got not the same amount in between each time, right? But it's using colors to kind of show you the different things. So you'll probably want to use the word color for this. Okay, it's like color coded. I kind of gave you the answer there. All right, so go ahead and do these two as an assignment as well, and I will grade pages 17 and 18 when we get back to school.